Scottie wins at Arnie's place, and it's Players Week. Let's do it, baby. Welcome back to the Swoosh Life Podcast. It is episode 64, episode 4 of season 64. We are back with another episode, and it's Players Week. We got lots to talk about. Matt's on the road. Keith and I are here. I just had a workout. I'm feeling my Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal self right now, and we're doing good. How are you guys doing? How's everyone out there in Swoosh Land?
It's great to be back, boys. It's starting to look and feel like golf season up in the Northeast. Matt, I don't know how it's feeling out in Chicago. I know you're down in Dallas, Texas right now, but up here in Connecticut, it is going to be 60 all week. Started swinging a little bit more again today, and I cannot wait to watch the players this week and swing more the rest of the week. Matt, how you doing?
Dude, Players Week, Scottie with a win at Arnold. I mean, it's warming up. I'm going to be playing hopefully on Friday if it doesn't rain with a certain Mr. Jordan Rogers. So everybody stay tuned for that. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. But, every time I've traveled for work and I'm like, I might be golfing, it ends up raining like crazy. So, but yeah, it's been great. I'm just happy to be here. There's so much to talk about. What are we kicking it off with? Or Gumby, how are you and what do you want to kick it off with?
I'm doing good. It is getting nice here. We got some big news this past week for the pod. And I think that is going to come to fruition sooner rather than later. But let's just say we're going to bring some cool shit to you guys. And I'm sorry I swore, but that's how it feels. So I think there's a lot happening in the Swoosh lands, and we're excited about it. So other than that, yeah, I can't wait to get outside. It snowed yesterday, and it turned up to 50, 60 to this today. So there's bipolar here in Syracuse, but we're doing good. And man, oh man, let's just get into it. But how nice was it to see Scottie Scheffler back in that winning circle? I mean, dude grew out the beard, rocking a little purple polo, looking suave, rocking his Scottie Ones, and I just dude might have learned how to putt again. And I think, watch out, world. Not to steal a Tiger line. But if that dude's putting, I just want to harken back to, let's just throw this out there. He won the Players last year. No one's repeated in the Players, but he won the Players last year. I'm trying to go in the right direction. Guys, what did he do 2 years ago? Does anyone remember?
I think if I can remember, he won the API. So 2 years ago, right? And then what happened 2 years after that, Matt? Or what happened just weeks after that?
Weeks. Matt, what happened?
He put on a cardigan, and then later he put on a green jacket. So you guys are gonna make me be the one that jinxes it by calling it out.
So. We were just going in sequence. That's all. We're just going in sequence. So I mean, I'm happy for Scottie. I think he's seemed lost with a putter recently, but he's the best damn ball striker in the world right now. I think we're going to touch on full swing a little bit in this episode too. So spoiler alert, stop listening now, come back and listen later. Not that we're going to get into it right now, but I'm just giving you your spoiler ahead of time.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about full swing. Yeah, we're going to talk about full swing in a little bit because I think there's some tidbits in there about what Rory said in his game that I think is really kind of I don't want to get too graphic here, but Rory's ball striking can't hold a jock to Scottie's right now. Rory's not a good player right now, and
not in America.
It's hard to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's good in Dubai.
Rory, but no, exactly. He can three-peat in a unmentionable polo, or his dad in a polo, but not. I don't know. Obviously Rory's had time going on. We'll get into that with full swing, but Scottie just lights out. Ran away with it on Sunday too.
Yeah, 5-shot victory, -15. Next competitor was -10. It's a putter. that's how you win tournaments. And he's got the Spider Tour X in the bag with a little help from Rory.
Rory a couple weeks ago saying, I think you should switch to O'Malley. So to O'Malley.
Yeah.
I mean, and strokes game putting won last week. Won. He had.
Right. He's won in everything.
Yeah, 12 straight one putts or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean,
as Nick Spears would say, because don't worry, everybody. Nick Spears is fine. The kick has not happened. It has not occurred.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw this to our buddy, but I just picture Nick's voice like Rory giving people putter tips, but it's just
it's true.
It's more about the equipment than technique or anything like that. So look, it's with Scottie Scheffler, like we know that's generational right now. Like the dude's been a winner, no matter what. Like his junior career is legendary. And then supposedly like his big growth spurt led to the back troubles, and he had the back troubles in college. And now with the Golf Forever stuff, he's been able to like be healthy. And now like you've seen him, like it's just time for him to actually just figure out, hey, the putting was the last piece of the puzzle. Now, is it just the equipment? Is that all it was? I think maybe. I'm bought in on it because I'll tell you why. Is like when you watched him, even when he switched to the Olsen putter, right? So he went from his Scottie Cameron, he went to the Olsen. The Olsen was sick looking, beautiful putter, by the way. It's not like there's moments when Rory putts and you're like, what are you reading? Like the read is just way off. But there were a lot of times like Scottie, like the read's not awful. It's just the speed was off, or, he had the direction. But there's times when Rory just completely misses putts bad. We'll talk
Rory
about
doesn't
Rory
have a real caddy to read putts for him. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think truthfully, JP helped him when he won his 4 majors, like help read putts. Harry is a friend, but I don't know if he's like a master green reader. Like, I don't know how much he relies on Harry either, So, whereas Ted Scott is a very, very good caddy. Like, and I think he's unbelievably great for Scottie. Like, and they've won everything together, right? Like,
the whole thing started when Ted Scott jumped on the bag.
Who was Ted with before it? Was
Bubba Watson.
Bubba, yeah, okay.
And you go from like, hey, I personally, I don't mind Bubba. I know a lot of people have strong feelings. I love Bubba. Shout out to Range Goats who follow me and
Range Goats are we have 2 live teams, I guess. If we're gonna go with the live bandwagon, we've got 2 live teams that we, I guess, support. And I'm not putting this out there in any way, but we like Smash because of Brooks. And apparently the Range Goats like us. So,
right on, Range Goats. Let's go.
Let's
go, Range Goats. I always loved Pink and Black. I always loved it. Yeah. But you go from Bubba Watson, who's a very emotional player, to Scottie, who's steady, and they both have mutual interests, like in terms of like how strongly they feel about their faith, things like that. So I think it's a really good match. It's a really good match for the two. And Ted Scott, professional caddy. I feel like the Rory's caddy is a lot like the Joel Damon Gino thing a little bit, which we can talk about as we talk about. Again, there's all these full swing spoilers we're going to get into in a little bit.
We're just like intertwining everything. So
I got to say the full swing. Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about what everybody felt. So I almost don't know where we should start, but okay. So I think we're all happy with Scottie. We all believe in Scottie now. We'll do our TPC.
Scotty's and he's obviously going to be a favorite for the Masters. I think you're going to have 2 swooshes running front, like 1 and 2. Masters.
Are we bringing back Keith's pick for the Sawgrass TPC players?
Why not? Keith's pick, make a return. It's a major. We said only major.
Is it a major still though? Is it? Is it really? Is it though?
Yeah, Tiger
does it have the best field? Are all the best players there?
That's going to be a good discussion. All right, so that's a teaser for the preview. I think we should just get into it. Okay, we're all happy for Scottie. We all believe in Scottie.
Yep.
See who picks Scottie later on when we talk about the Players' Championship. But let's talk about Full Swing, guys. You guys finished it. First off, I want a score. Could you guys give a score just to the overall season? And then we could probably pick out our favorite parts after that. So, Gumby, you're
1 through 5. Better than season. So, spoiler alert. Hey, boop, 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 boop. Spoiler alert. You have not watched Full Swing. Stop listening to our podcast.
No. Keep listening. Just skip ahead.
Oh, yeah, skip ahead. episode. Well, I'll tell you, we're gonna go for less than 20 minutes. Come back at 25. This is 10 right now. Come back at 25. All right. So we can't go more than 15 minutes, guys. All right, here we go. Season 2 is better than season 1 in my eyes. Season 1 had some good moments, but I got lost in stuff that I wasn't like cared about that much. I liked Tony's episode. I didn't mind JT's episode and whatnot. Like, it shows they're like buddy. I think it was a good starter one. And Brooks, obviously, episode is like just whatever, lost and then finds it. And anytime you get a look at the Masters, I'm in, because I just love the Masters. Love the Masters. And so, but this season, I thought they did a really good job of telling the story of the majors. It was great to see Rochester on that rainy Saturday because I was there. It was great to see Brooks's return. I want to just put an interjection in there. I've been meaning to talk about this on the podcast. I had a really bad take last year, and I want to apologize for this take. That take being that Michael Block was the biggest story of PGA instead of Brooks Koepka, because wow, that man just got paid and did a heel turn on the swoosh, and so now I apologize for that, because Brooks Koepka was obviously the bigger story of the PGA.
Yeah,
but I think I was still just a little bit salty about Liv. So, but I'm redacting my biggest story now, a year, 8 months later. So, I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that.
No blocky on full swing.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Dude.
So no, we already said this, but wait. So what's your score for? You said it's better than season 1.
Yeah, I like it better than season 1. I think it's a good 4.3. I really think it's strong. I thought they glanced over some Ryder Cup stuff. Like, Hatgate was a wild incident, especially if Rory in the parking lot. And it was like one shot of it, and that was it. Like, not much else of the parking lot incident. You know what I mean? They did kind of show the like Joey standing on the green. He said that he said something to Rory after and said that, yeah, I stood a little too long. Shane got into it, but it didn't seem as like heated in that moment. It just seemed like good competitive ribbing. And then we got into like, but like, I remember that moment, and I remember Twitter, and I remember like shit was going crazy. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
it was.
I feel like that it wasn't like they built it up that it was gonna be this thing, and then like it didn't accurately portray how crazy everything was actually felt in that moment. But like Luke Donald and like, I don't know, I didn't like Zach as a captain, but the only thing that humanized Zach, I mean, the thing with Keegan was just brutal, but the only thing that humanized Zach at the end was his son being really upset, and then him comforting his son, and then like tearing. I was like, okay, like, you got to pass now, like whatever. Like, I feel, but it was great to see Luke Donalds, and Luke's rock swooshes. Rosie was rocking swooshes. Forgot Robin McIntyre was on that team. Like, there's a good amount of swoosh being shown in the episodes too, which was really nice. And we got Fitzpatrick, who's a swoosher, so that was nice. Fitzpatrick, not that. So yeah, I think 4.3 is a solid score. We're doing out of 5. So, but I enjoyed it. It was great, like fun to like look back on last year, see all the things kind of what I forgot about. They didn't show much of anything at like the Masters, other than Rory sucking. So
I was surprised they showed as much of Tom Kim getting lost at the Masters as they did. Like
I thought that was awesome. He's like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here.
Like, yeah. No,
and I think like, you guys can talk about the Rory stuff, but I think like that dude was lost last year. I think he still is lost. I think some people have advised him in a really like unfortunate way with some stuff possibly or whatever, and he's taking it on himself. I don't know. It seems like more he's taking it on himself, but he's also lost in like his swing. He talks in the episode about fully rebuilding his swing, and I don't remember anyone doing that since Tiger. So, I mean, it's interesting. But your guys' kind of thoughts into like the Rory stuff, and then to like overall as well. Keith, your turn.
Yeah, I think it was actually like I feel like we were just anticipating season 2, and I think that's why I do like season 2 more than season 1, just because we're like looking for something new, looking to see like what kind of behind the scenes stuff we got from Live, PGA side, Ryder Cup. We knew there was a couple episodes of Ryder Cup in there, and it was kind of nice how they transitioned every episode with a major in each one. They kind of went through each 4 major. At the beginning of the first like 3-4 episodes, they kind of went through like the first 3 majors of the year, and towards the end, when they got to the Fitzpatrick, Matt, and Alex, which I thought was a underrated episode for like me not knowing that that's what the episode was going to be about. I knew Fitzpatrick was back, Matt Fitzpatrick was back, but they kind of like hit home a little bit with, a little behind the scenes with, his brother being ranked 700th in the world and what it kind of takes to qualify and get. As Matt drops his camera and he goes sideways, but he's still
I'm trying to make stuff work in a hotel. Sorry, I'm trying to get the nice up close. I feel like, and I've noticed this on PGH, like channel, they're all like in there. Okay, anyways, we only got like 9 minutes left. Okay, go.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
I talked too long.
I'm short and sweet, so don't worry. I'll pass it right over to you. I think, like I said, the Fitzpatrick kind of like was a cool episode to watch. It was probably an underrated episode, but it was like, okay, I'm not really bored because it was just like up and coming of his brother, swoosh guy. Loved it, of course. A lot of swooshes.
How many times did you pause on that Matt episode just to see all the stuff that he had? Like he had the drawstring bag, he had like all this Nike stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like looking out. I'm like pause, looking at like what does he got? What does he got? Like that's like the coolest
all the
part,
European exclusives that we don't see. That's what it all is.
And the fact that if he wins the Open, he's automatically the favorite son. Actually, like forget your U.S. Open. Like you just
we
don't care your 700th.
Yeah, right. Well, I forgot how well he played.
He finished higher than Scottie.
Finished tied 17th, and he was up tied 11th, going into the last day. But Rory episode, a lot of weight on Rory's shoulders, has kind of maybe lifted a little bit, but he's still. We'll see this week at TPC, see how he's playing leading into the Masters, and that's all he needs is that last one and another major to maybe kickstart or ignite him, a little bit. It was good to see Koepka. I thought there was more Koepka than I thought there was going to be. What else was there? Leading up to the Ryder Cup, it was interesting. I thought kind of like what was said over last year when the Ryder Cup was going on and who was picking the teams and Zach was trying to pick a team. And I heard a lot of things like it was just a buddies trip. And I kind of got that a little bit from Full Swing.
Yeah.
Like he's out there having dinner with the boys. I forgot what tournament it was. It was one of the majors where it might have been, I can't remember which major.
JT's like in his closet, like signing stuff.
Yeah, and they're breaking, they're breaking balls a little bit and stuff. Like,
but then JT had a good record. But then JD, like
I agree. I think JT was the correct pick. Right. I don't know if Ricky or Sam Burns was the correct pick by leaving someone out like Keegan.
And
Keegan
Tony
loves the Ryder Cup. I just think Keegan would have done something completely different. Like he just would have brought in that next level. I don't think they get wiped on Friday with Keegan, to be quite honest, because he brings an energy that wouldn't let that happen.
I think a different starting lineup for Zach could have definitely got the ball rolling on a Friday morning instead of going 4-0. But
did you not rank it, and then I'll tell you the story?
Yeah. So overall, I would give it. I'll go on the 4s, 4.25.
Yes.
For a season.
The story that I heard on the From podcast was actually from Cantlay and Wyndham Clark in that last match on Saturday, and Wyndham didn't know he was going out with Cantlay. They switched it up. He thought he was going out with someone else. And Pat seemed also like out of it, all of this stuff. And Wyndham said 5,000 for the first 5 birdies, the first to 5 under, $5,000, $1,000 every birdie after. And he goes, done. And so I think Pat gets to it. And then those last 3 holes coming home, like he birdie, hats off, hats flying, team on his back. Like, and he goes, this motherfucker's, excuse me, he's gonna take me for like 10K. Like, and I think he did. Like, he just was out of his mind. He's like, and he went to like remind him, like before they teed off, he goes, I know the deal. Like, he just, Pat's stone cold killer. Pat gets like a lot of flack. We definitely have given him that because of his time and everything. But he's with Joey now, and that was a cool showing. Kind of thing at the end too, and that was a cool story. So, Matt, your thoughts on Full Swing? You got a full 5 minutes.
What was your score, Keith?
4.25.
4.2.
I think I might have 2.7 on it.
Were you not happy with that score?
No, you're good. I liked it better than season 1. I agree, because like now they don't have to like explain what the cut is and like all the like the basic stuff
What
for like
golf is.
the basic, right? Like, here's what golf is, right? I wanted to do like 2 Nike shout outs first off. So did anybody notice during the PGA they show Scottie in the parking lot and he's wearing this year's Pegasus with the fuchsia top on? Go back and look at it. I didn't message you guys because I was like half falling asleep because some of the episodes were.
I'll go back and watch.
But I could swear he's wearing this year's Pegasus with that fuchsia top. Now maybe it's a golf version or maybe it's not, but he's wearing it, and that's at Rochester, right? Yeah. The other thing too, we had a little bit of fun when Tiger had to take his shoe off and he still had the Nike socks on. I love the fact that we're all buying these really expensive, fancy Nike socks. And like Charlie Hull is, she's got Nike tube socks when she works out. Tiger's got those Nike socks, and Wyndham Clark had Jordan socks on, right?
Yeah, Jordan socks. Yeah,
and just basic ass. Like, there's nothing special. These guys are $1 million athletes.
It's the stupid thing that we pick up on in a huge episode. Is that was like, do you see that Nike shoe? Do you see that? Like, that's all I'm looking at in the last episode with Team Europe. Celebrating, and they're jumping up and down, and it's just a pan of the shoes, and I'm like, Nike. There's Rory's, there's Robin McIntyre's, there's Rosie, there's Donald's, because like you just knew, because they all each had different ones, right? Like, so it was so funny to like pick out the shoes when they're all like jumping up and down and celebrating. So
with 2.5 minutes left, another couple things I didn't like. This whole thing about the Ryder Cup controversy, supposedly Cantlay was a jerk inside talking about, I want to get paid for my hat. And they just kind of like, there's no footage from inside. There's no footage of any arguments. Oh, no, the hat thing was totally innocent, fabricated by Twitter, and they really like, I don't know. I don't want to say they spun it, but it made it feel like, okay, it wasn't a real thing. Yeah. I think it was. I think we all like, come on, don't bulljive me, man. Right. I think it was a real thing. In terms of like the incident, right? Like, and this is where I'm going to go into the whole Rory thing, because to me, Rory's the story, like rhyme time. Rory's the story from beginning to end. Like, he's super honest, saying, I kind of didn't want Brooks to win the Masters because he's live and because he would pass me. And then he does pass him. And then he actually does pass him. And when they do these exit interviews, this is after the season's over. So he knows what he's saying. He knows what the eventuality is. And he's still totally open and honest about it. And I think that's what we love about Rory. And I don't know if it's to his fault, because we love that he's super honest. But man, like that moment at the PGA, he's in the locker room and it's like a rain-soaked round and he's just killing himself on it.
That one was like, that is the same energy, same moment of Brooks at home, not knowing who won the Masters in season 1, and Rory in the locker room going, I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to tear it down and rebuild it. Like,
but he still hasn't. But he actually has.
But just lost.
Here we are.
And
at
it's
this point in the year, thinking like,
it's
and
just
like,
wild.
And I guess like we're gonna go past 25. So whoever's tuning in,
we're still going. If you've come back,
we're still going. If you
give us another 5.
Yeah, give us another 5. Then you get to. I'm surprised they didn't talk about the U.S. Like they had that in the U.S. Open episode. They do have the storyline of Joel Damon. By the way, painting Joel Damon as an alcoholic. Let's just call it what it is. Like, and I don't know.
Gino was very honest with him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, Gino's very honest with him, but they're also both drinking at the same bar, and they're both doing the exact same thing, right? So I guess my question is,
You freeze? Oh, no.
yeah, hold on one
Oh,
second.
there.
Yeah,
Your question is-
so, right. So, yeah, sorry guys, I got a little bit frozen there. So,
My question
Yeah.
is about Gino and
no,
Joel.
right, but I want to continue with Rory. So then the
Oh,
PGA, so then the PGA thing happens, and then or the Ryder Cup thing happens, and I kind of got like, was Rory overreacting? I don't know, because the way that they painted now that the Cantley story wasn't real, in their like the way they painted it, right? That it wasn't
Yeah.
a real thing, right?
Yeah. I think that Rory's what happened in that parking lot was everything of the year and of PGA and Live and being that guy just boiled over. It's just boiling over to that point. Like that is just what it was.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because we never seen Rory lose his temper like that ever, and with everything that happened during that time at the Ryder Cup, and with it being filmed for Netflix, we're expecting a little bit more out of it. I know I was expecting like a little bit more between seeing how the guys from Live and the PGA kind of, if they like butted heads at the Masters, at the U.S. Open, at the PGA, but they kind of really didn't. They really didn't show any of that either. It could have been like, what I was trying to say is I think they kind of like jumped around a little too quickly on each of the stories. But I know they're in a time limit and they're trying to crunch everything together and make it an 8-episode series. So
I think what I wanted more out of the parking lot thing. Sorry, Gumby, I lost my train of thought. I'm back. Out of the thing is like, I wanted more about what Rory was saying. Like, those microphones were on. I wanted to know what he was saying, but I also
his bones.
And
yeah,
I want to talk about that because there is this unspoken rule, whether it's right or wrong. A caddy is a caddy, and a player is a player. The player is the star of the show, right? They're actually who we tune in for, right? Like we don't. I'm sorry, like all due respect to your guy Joe, Bones, Fluff, all these guys that we love, Gino, right? Like we love them as like sideshow heroes, but they're not the main act, right? And especially when they start to insert themselves into the main act. And then when another caddy is trying to vouch for another caddy when the dispute has already been, like, I could totally understand Rory being like, dude, don't talk to me. Like, leave me alone. Like, so I'm supposed to listen to you, another cat. Like, I hate to like say like there's like a tier system here, but there kind of is a little bit. So like, I kind of don't blame him, but it's didn't make him look like a good look, because the other thing is that they hit again, whether there was talk again, right? Like, what was the story? So
I think it was what was it going to be? I don't know. I lost it as well. We're just losing our train of thoughts today. It's a lot. It was a lot to take in.
We're past the limit.
It was good amount of fun stuff in the episode. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. You're back with us. You only got spoiled a little bit, but it's a great look and insight into the PGA Tour. I'm looking forward to season 3. I think they've been renewed again. I'm also looking forward to that they have started a company. The guy, the producer, and others to do all of the PGA Tour like behind the scene and cinematic things. So we will actually start getting more stories and things told by the producer of Full Swing, and like a cinematic thing, and investment funding and all that stuff too. So that's awesome. And
Matt, what was your score?
4
I think 2-7, right? 2-7 to something like that.
You did say that.
Maybe it could go a little higher. I mean, I think it was well shot and well structured in the way they did. But to your point, like with the PGA thing, like there's nothing about Blocky in there. I still think, like Blocky and Brooks
probably wanted to get paid.
I think they were great stories. I think with anything, when you have when you think that there's something so great, and I get it, right? Like there might have been a little anti-live and people thinking that Blocky was the story, but you can have two great stories and you just have to lead with one and finish with the other. So
Yeah.
you lead with Blocky because Blocky is it's the novelty. Sorry, Blocky. Like I don't mean novelty in a bad way. I mean novelty of like it's never been seen before, hasn't been seen in a very long time, right?
Yeah.
People are interested in that. And then you finish with what is the great redemption story of just an amazing thing, dude. Just an absolutely amazing thing. So look, it is well shot. It is well done.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. The Ryder Cup thing let me down so bad because they're like, there's 2 episodes on the Ryder Cup. And the first episode is all Zach Johnson being buddy with everybody. Meanwhile, Luke Donald, like, shout out to Northwestern's education system. He's a taskmaster, dude. Like, look, we're underdogs. I'm going to do this, that.
He had it dialed. Like,
yeah.
I think that was what I was going to say a lot. I remember is that I remember Rory was like talking about it and being like, I don't want Brooks to win the Masters. I don't like Live. Like that was still happening at Players, and it was still happening at other events early. I think they were talking about it like TPC, like Scottsdale, and then all of a sudden they made a big deal about this, that Rory and Brooks played a practice round together at Masters. And that was like the first like watershed moment of like, oh my, like a Live and a PGA player are playing together. And then like obviously he's congratulating him in the parking lot after he wins PGA.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of respect there. I think they both understand who they are in the games. And if you were to look at Live and you were to look at PGA right now, the 2 people that you're going to pick out as the figureheads of each tour, in a sense, are probably Brooks and Rory. Like, you could say Taylor Gooch, no, but like Phil
Taylor Gooch keeps catching stuff while I do it, like, right? But
Phil finished like DFL like this past week in Hong Kong. You know what I mean? For Live, like it's not Phil. I don't even know what happened to Henrik Stenson. They glanced over that for one thing. I was like, I don't even know if he plays on Live.
I don't know.
Like it's interesting on who plays and those that don't play. And we're not going to talk about it too much because I didn't really watch the thing. Keith can maybe give us an update, but as we were recording today, before the Players, there was Jay Monahan's press conference talking about PIF and PGA conversations still happening. We still have no information.
It's
Jay being Jay.
It's
okay. This goes back to this is the most heartbreaking Rory part for me from Full Swing. And it continues because the bullshit continues today.
Yeah. When
they said that there was that announcement, Rory had no idea. And the narrator, and I think it was Dan Rappaport, shout out to him, where he said it was this one hit hard because I know this professionally all too well on like obviously much smaller scale. But when they say they'll use you for everything, but when it comes time to make decisions in the boardroom, they will not let you in.
Yeah.
Damn, did that hit hard. Did that hit hard. And dude, wait, I thought Arthur Blank and Drake and LeBron were buying the PGA. Like, what are we doing here? What is going on?
I think it's just trying to get as much money into the PGA so they can say, like, I don't know what they can say. I was talking about it with Keith earlier, and I was like, why don't we just make it like European soccer? And they talked about this past week that like Rory's talking about, and even Scottie, I guess maybe like about, or Wyndham, about just doing the top 100 and then having a tour with like the smaller tour card, like less tour cards. I'm like, that takes a lot of like why you work your way up to get there out of it. And like, don't forget where you came from. I think someone said that to Wyndham Clark because like just a couple of years ago he was about to lose his tour card. You know what I mean? And like now he's back. But like use Live as like relegation or vice versa. I don't mind seeing a couple team events. I don't like their concept sometimes, but like I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to see like I was thinking of it as like in a collegiate way. Could you imagine Spieth and Scheffler on a team Texas, or Kisner and others on a Georgia team, or JT on a Bama team, Ricky on Oklahoma State, and Wyndham Clark on Oklahoma State. Wyndham Clark transferred to Oregon, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that would be kind of cool. Like, that would be that harkens back to their days in college playing team events. But I don't know. I don't know how you get it to work after a division. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, I think just golf in general, professional golf, is lost a little bit right now. And with Jay's comments of, I'm trying to find right now like his exact words, but like, there's nothing new, or he didn't announce anything new of what's going on between him and he has said that he's gone over there plenty of times to talk to the governor of, the PIF and everything, and trying that they're pretty close in an agreement of tying it all back together. One of the things that, like, when I heard him say that today, one of the things is like Live, they kind of pulled their hat out of the world ranking submission thing. So that could be something. Maybe there is something, going on involved with that. It's just something I just try to put two and two together, kind of thing. But with Jay, he was kind of, let's move on to the next thing. I'm here doing my annual press conference at the Players, and this is not going to be public news anytime soon. But a couple players chimed in and thinking that there's going to be some resolution in the next couple months. Who knows how it's all going to tie back together?
Yeah.
So.
The relegation thing is interesting to me because, like, let's just say you have like an injury, like a small injury, and you're in that bottom 20, and now the next year you got to go down for the smaller purses. And I think for the PGA that's kind of frightening because, like, let's admit, PGA has had guys in the past, in the last few years. Your buddy JT was outside the FedEx Cup. He would have been relegated this year, right? He'd be on
Ricky, been off
right?
for years,
Right.
like.
And you hope that these guys like catch their mojo and they compete on a Saturday or Sunday. Like, that's part of the model, right? I kind of agree a little bit with Lucas Glover. Like, I don't get why the PGA all of a sudden said signature event, gold card event, bronze card, Sam's Club, Costco membership event. Like, there's all these different events. None of us care. Care. Like, let more dudes play. And I'm still confused by the stubbornness of both sides, because there's two things that I feel like is so easy because they could live without each other. Stop this nonsense. Like, you're bad for each other. You actually don't need each other, and you guys should just live separately, right? Like, go play a fourth round already. Shut up. Go play a fourth round and get your stupid world ranking points and get in the majors and run your own league. You have enough money. You have enough star power to have your own league. I don't get this. Like, oh, but PGA, we want you. Oh my God, PGA. We really want those PGA people, right? Like, just play your fourth round, get your ranking points, go to your majors. You got enough money. Go. Let the PGA be your minor league. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Right? And PGA, stop saying, look, PGA, you're not Saudi rich. You are not PIF rich. Stop it. You are PGA rich, right? And that's fine too. That's fine. Have your own little league. You'll lose 5 to 10 people every year that will go up there, and then you'll build the next stars, and that's okay. You don't have to be the Premier League. They're only playing 12 events a year. I don't get it. Like, I don't see why there can't be both leagues separated. I don't know why they are so intent on like fighting each other and trying to merge. I don't get it.
Feel you. I agree. And it's broken golf because of it. Like,
exactly.
Like, we are tennis, where the majors now only matter. And I don't know.
The majors can only matter now, don't they? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're just tennis now. Like, I think that's the bummer of it all. But also, like, hey, look, I don't have to spend my time on a weekend. I can go out and play now. Like, I can.
Yeah.
I don't know. So who knows? Speaking of playing, I'm gonna do a new segment here as we wrap this up. It's gonna be called Swoosh Tips. Just not just a tip. I want some
Well, I mean,
viewer feedback here on this. But if you have tips and tricks for securing or enjoying things about the swoosh, hit us up and we'll feature them on the podcast. The first one being Nike golf gloves at Dick's Sporting Goods. And we might be giving a trade secret away. This might get shut down and I might lose my all of my things that I do with this. They might catch on to us, but I'm going to try and help you out as best as possible. So what you do, this is the tip. I'm in the full screen here. If you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe on YouTube. Is buy a glove, this little glove at Dick's Sporting Goods. And you know what you can get at Dick's Sporting Goods when you buy this glove for $25? You can get $4 protection plan on it. See, $4 right there. When you buy a protection plan, you have a year to 90 days. I think it's 90 days to a year. Don't quote me. I'm not going to give you all my secrets away. To possibly get a new glove if something like this happens to your current glove. Or it rips, tears, wear a hole in it. Because it's protected by the protection plan. So then what you do, take this little bad boy, walk it into Dick's, and you can go get yourself a glove free of charge because you bought this. Then you get another protection plan on the glove that you're getting replaced for $4. And then, maybe a couple months later, maybe you're playing a lot of golf. This thing rips again. You just take that protection plan right back. You walk out of the store with a new bad boy right here. Tips and swoosh tricks coming at you whenever they come in. But that's my glove story. And I've gotten a couple gloves this year, and I'm happy about it. And I have a couple more to go until they shut me down. And this is why I'm also using my wife and sister to buy these gloves for me instead of myself. So until we secure that swoosh sponsorship and they send us gloves, this is what I'm doing. So, man. But no, seriously though, it's a great thing that Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's actually a good.
Thank you, Dick's Sporting Goods.
Extra $4 and you get a fresh glove.
Yeah,
and you
for
just keep
doing
paying
that.
You just pay $4 each time for a new glove, right?
Exactly, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just keep making sure that you get the protection plan on it, and it takes care of it. And yeah, thank you, Dick's Sporting Goods, for doing that, because golfers and us, we go through gloves a lot, So, but if you guys have any tips or tricks that you use to secure Nike products or on the golf course or anything like that, hit us up. We'll feature them in Swoosh Tips and Tricks segments when they come.
I have one. I like to always play in the group behind Nick Spears, and whenever he pulls out driver, I just go straight to the woods on the right side.
Free balls.
Sorry, another shot at Nick, just to see if he's listening. Just to see.
Keep listening. All right. Players Week, which means we have some shoes to score as the Nike Air Zoom Victory Tour 3 NRG have dropped or will be dropping soon. So, boys, let's pull these up and see what we kind of think of them. I always dig the Players Championship colorways, the golds, and everything within all these. I think they just look super nice to kind of have the gold and whatnot in it. What are your guys' initial thoughts on these shoes? I wish we had other shoes to rank right now as well. I think that's the only bummer right now is that we only have one pair out to rank. Last year we obviously had a very, very good AM 90 to rank for the Players Week.
That was a great one.
Your initial thoughts, and is this scuffed or is it just
It's two different materials for the gray. So the gray,
look
you
at
got the gold swoosh, right?
The gold,
I think the swoosh is it's the detail.
like this here.
The gold, yeah.
Are you guys happy that the PGA Championship, or what is it? The Players, sorry, that the Players Championship has taken on this gold? Because I feel like they were using gold for the PGA for a little bit, and now they can't use gold for the PGA because they use it for the Players.
You're right. Yep.
Whereas
Right.
the PGA is an actual major, and we'll talk a little bit when we go into Keith's pick whether this is still the 5th major or not. It might be 2 materials.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the first time it looks like that scuff material from.
Yeah, and
I think it's getting like a wear look, like a trophy wear look, or like a scuff mark from a hand.
Yeah,
something like that. It's just a trophy of the gold.
Yeah.
I think it's a simple look. I'm a fan of it. First impressions. Love the buckle on the laces there. That's a nice little added touch. Is there a lot of features like we've seen in the past, especially last year's? No. They definitely went with a clean look. I think the biggest thing for me is I'm always a fan of the full swoosh, a full solid swoosh, and I love how they transitioned the VT3 into this year with the full swoosh. So I'm a big fan of it. The buckle and the gold footbed, love it. Just another added touch inside the sole, the footbed there. I do like the player's logo, where it's just like the Nike swoosh and golf on the tongue. It's simple, straightforward. I'm trying to wrap my head around the silver swoosh on the inside. So it's like first and second place, or if it's a white.
See, but do you see how that heel portion, the inner heel quarter, is a smooth gray?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Right,
I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Here's my thing. I don't like the. I'm always picky with VT3s. Why don't the swooshes match up? Here's the front of this swoosh. If you're watching us if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's the outside swoosh on the outside of each foot is forward more to like the second eyelet of the laces, whereas the inside swoosh is back more and it lines up with the first eyelet, the top eyelet by the tongue, and then it pushes the tail end of the swoosh back towards the heel more. I just think that's interesting that I think that happens on the VT3s all the time because of the way of the inside kind of that two-tone inside that they do with it. Yeah. I just feel like that two-tone inside is so unnecessary on the VT3, but
I think it is. I think it is, but I think they're using it the wrong way. So if you go to the inside portion that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
That inside swoosh. All right. Do you remember with the Lunar Control? Could it be the 3? Lunar Control 3 or 4 when they had the college editions?
Yeah.
And on the college editions, on the inner portion of where that swoosh is, where it's smooth, they had like the Oregon Duck or the Texas logo. Like right. I feel like right now, instead of a swoosh on this inside portion, have the treasure map again, or a gator, or you could have something like really part of the majors. Instead of this, like this swoosh is kind of like squashed in here, like it's kind of forced in this little area. Like maybe it'll look more natural, like on a bigger foot, like a size 13 or something like that. But I feel like right here is an opportunity to do a graphic that's kind of bold but subtle because it's on the inner part of the shoe. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that a lot. It is. I feel like just underutilized in a weird way. I'm not sure if like a fan of the black here. I think they could have done something different. But it is timeless of like black and silver and gold. Like it really. Yeah. You can wear this anytime, right? Like you could wear this at Christmas, silver and gold. You could wear it. They made a shoe that you can wear at any time, and you can.
It's a classic. It's one of our classier looking golf shoe, cleated golf shoe, which is.
I just don't know if we'll ever beat the gold bottoms that Rory wore and then won. Like those were just.
Yeah, the first.
I mean, those were good, but I still think the Air Max 90 from last year was awesome. So
I agree. That was that, but that's more like I wouldn't say gimmicky side, but like that's more.
I get what you're saying.
Fun, playful side versus like a classic side,
right? Where it would jeans like, kind of thing, yeah.
Right, like I said, I wanted to wear that to like Myrtle Beach and go mini golf. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it would be like perfect. So, so what do we kind of?
I was gonna say Rory did wear these today in his practice round. He did have these on, so it was cool to see.
I'll read you the description of them. The special edition of the Victory Tour 3 celebrates the grind, the eternal pursuit of excellence. A gold swoosh logo and metallic medallion like silvers provide a glossy finish to celebrate your rise from raw to refined, and to go with all that shine, you still get what makes this shoe so great. Unreal energy returns and spikes that are ready for 18 or more. So that's a write-up from Mickey.
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Just a clean look, clean classic look. I'll give it, score-wise, out of 5, I'll give it I'm a fan. I love my black, white, and gold, or whatever, black, white, gray. I'm going to give it a 4.35. I know I'm a little high, but I do like it. I'm going to be the oddball, probably out of both of you guys, but I like it.
I've been scoring easy to start the season here. I'm at a solid 3-0. I think I see these at the outlet. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
With you, Matt. Sure. Absolutely. Yes. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
That puts it in the 3s for me, right? Like.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice. I do like the color combo. It just doesn't scream special edition to me.
No, this could have been a colorway. So that's why I'm at a 2.8. Because I think this is just, you're telling me that this is the energy release for the players. Like, this is just a colorway that you would see in any VT3 this year. You know what I mean? Like, this is not.
Yeah, like, what's the little detail? What's the little touch, right?
Like, I think if you compare it to last year, like, I don't know, it's got to be below a 3 for me, because last year was just so top. And maybe not supposed to compare it to one to the other. It's just supposed to be separate. But there's not enough in this to sway me over a 3. I agree, though. If this is sitting at the outlets for $70, I'm probably gonna pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good looking shoe, and it would be nice if, like, you wear this in a Sunday match, you wear this to your club championship in the final round, like, you've got a chance and you're gonna win it. Like, what a baller to, like, step out with some gold shoes on, you know. So, but it doesn't do it enough for me. And, like, Nike lately, especially in their energy releases, especially around the Masters, have just nailed it. Like, we talk about it so much on this podcast, between lobsters, between peaches, between others, like, they have nailed it. Even last year's players just, and I don't think they nailed it. You know, that's all.
I think the other hard thing is that Rory's going to be the only player wearing the VT3, and we're all waiting. We've been very patiently waiting for what is Brooks's shoe, right? And of course, Brooks won't be here, but, like, I think was Tom Kim in an X%, which I feel like we barely talked about his episode, which was really good, right?
Yeah,
like
that
was Falls of a Young Superstar good. Getting a it was really really good. So I would have loved if the Next Percent debuted with a TPC colorway, right? Like a Players Championship, maybe a little black and gold, maybe a little white and gold, silver and gold, like what they're doing here. That would have been a cool way to, like, hey, announce
that'd be
the
really
shoe.
Quite nice.
You never know. You never know.
The other thing is, because this is the second year of the VT3, right?
Yes.
So anytime we get into the second year of the shoe, like, you got to go harder on the major editions for us to, like, notice it, right?
Yeah. I think the best VT3 last year was the British Open ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
Their best one. Because to your point, Matt, they use the inside panel properly for graphical reasons, and I think that was good. So, we're wrapping up here. We're gonna get some Keith's picks coming up. We got a message the other day, and it was really cool. And I talked about this at the top of the podcast, that there could be, some really cool things, like, happening, later down the road in April. We've dropped hints throughout the night.
There's also a video
about things, and so
on YouTube.
So I think that's all we're gonna say right now.
Is it? Do you guys feel like it's time we take the show on the road? Maybe
it could be. It could be.
If only there was a place. I mean, I think we're all probably maybe going to say that TPC is not the first major of the year anymore, right? It's like it's not
Right.
a fifth major.
We're
Maybe
gonna
we should go on the road.
Yeah,
Should we go on the road for the first major of the year?
yeah, I think that might be
If only there was a
we
place
could
that would
possibly
host us, where we could like chill all day and watch TV and drink beer near one of the most legendary tournaments.
So I think
Yeah.
there could be some really cool stuff happening, and you'll just have to keep listening to the podcast to find out more.
Yeah, and if only like this place like would help you find tickets to, you know, important majors, and if it would help you, you know, you could sit around afterwards after you go view a practice round or a major round.
Yep.
That would be a good place for us to go. I think we should
Great.
go to a place like that.
I
That would be
think that's
pretty awesome.
Could be
that
like
would be a
across
really
the street.
good idea.
Yeah, named after
Really
a
good
flower,
idea.
maybe. If only there was such a place existed.
Only such a place exists.
Only. Yeah.
Again, go watch us on YouTube or on Spotify to see what we're talking about a little bit, and we will tell you next week a little bit more about those plans for the first full week in April. All right. It is.
Let's do a pick. Old
I
school
don't
pick.
even have a banner up. I kind of forgot.
Hey, that's right. We could throw these in random.
I'm gonna move.
It's
Keith
not the
into top
it's not the
spot here.
fifth major. We're not calling it the fifth major. It's the
So
players.
it's not. It's not. It's the players.
Are all the best players there?
It's an elevated event.
But are they really the best players? Whoa!
Oh.
Shots fired. All right, Keith, hit us up with your first pick of the year. We'll do the big events. We won't do the elevated events.
Yeah.
The big events in our eyes.
What about the Sam's Club events?
The Sam's Club. I love that. That was a good line. Keith, who you got this week? Who's in the field, by the way? Do you have any list? You normally have a list for it.
Come on.
No.
We already know who's taking.
I'm going with my gut. We know the Nike guys that are there. I'm going with an underdog. Who knows what his odds look like? And I think he's just due for a breakout year. And he got bumped from the Ryder Cup team. Barely in season 2 of full swing, but I'm going Tony Finau. Have to.
Ooh.
Going Tony. I think he's due. He's going to be swinging good.
Speaking of the Finaus, Fresh dropped a little long TikTok about everything she knows about Masters and everything like that. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I got to go watch it because that might be some.
So that's why I paused, because I got an alert. I got a text. That's why I paused during the full swing, because I was like, "Did you see what she put?" No, okay, so
yeah. So and then, but I think that I love that pick for Tony. I would love to see him get back to it. I think he also with kind of I don't think he touched on it. They didn't touch on it, but it's the Joel Damon of it. He was very popular last year on tour. I don't know if he knew how to handle that as much, the fame and notoriety after everything. So I think that's it would be nice to see him he took that step back this year and to kind of get back into it would be awesome. So Matt, who do you have winning the Players Championship this week?
By the way, I don't think it's the fifth major anymore. It will be I wanted to say Tom Kim, but because we were just thinking about him, I like the Tony Finau pick. I feel like Scottie going back to back, not only this week, but back to back in terms of defending. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if a little bit of a hangover. That's an emotional thing. Believe it or not, I think a weight was lifted off his shoulders, almost in the way that Rory needs this major weight lifted off his shoulders. Is Rory playing good enough? I don't know. He could.
His 30 on Saturday was pretty special. That was a nuclear round. That was pretty nice. But yeah, didn't do anything on Sunday. So
man, it's hard. So I'm gonna go Rory McIlroy.
I like that pick.
I like
that pick. I was trying to see if someone was in the field before I made a pick.
We did this.
That's why my camera went away.
We did this scratch 2 years ago with Scottie. Remember, none of us picked him, and then we still didn't pick him, and then he was winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, no. Now we're all pick you.
Tommy Fleetwood's in the field.
Is he okay? That's who I was. That's who I was looking for. All right.
Lucas Glover's in the field talking shit about everything.
I think. I'm gonna go with Tommy. I'm gonna go with Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this game sets up well enough for the players, but
I think it's crazy how young he is. I think it's
I would like to see him
absolutely
get
insane.
it done. Yeah, like I would like to see him get it done. We're running out of guys to pick, unfortunately. We lost Jason this year. We lost,
we had an embarrassment of riches. Really, it was a deep roster, so it's like.
Well, I think it's funny because I think there will be some people that come back a little bit in the future. I think what we've been hearing from some stuff is that we'll get back up to where we were. But if you look at Adidas roster right now, oh my God, they just have every single person in the face of the earth. It feels like it's.
Didn't they lose? Is Colin still Adidas?
Colin is, yeah. It's
Xander left.
Oh, that's
for Xander left. Yeah.
Well, I don't see a lot of the three stripes as much.
They lost Danielle King too. She went to the same place as Xander.
Yeah.
There's just so many boutique brands. There's so many little niche brands, and it's golf's just. It's if anything, Land Force has really shown how easy it is to start a golf.
Oh yeah. I think it was Cousteau got a package today from the Three Stripes. Packaging is nice, but I'm isn't that just the same shoe that they've done for the past 5 years?
The 360.
Yeah, it's just the same damn shoe.
Okay, but okay. Oh wow.
But we don't hype up. We don't hype up the VT3. If you're gonna say VT3, we don't hype up the VT3 like they hype up the 360.
No, this is where this is where the business. I try to bring in the business talk of it.
Yeah.
And then Nick gets all salty. Why are you talking about competitors? You must love Melbourne. You must love Adidas, right? It's no, dude. You got to look at the landscape so that you can make recommendations based on reality, bro. Yeah. And for better or for worse, the thing I'll give Three Stripes credit for is that. My buddy, who was the club champ at Medina, used to love Lunar Control 1, did not care for 2. He loved 3, and he bought as many 3s as he could. And for the next 8 years, Nike never came out with a shoe even remotely close to that shoe. He ended up winning a pair of 360s. And guess what he can buy every year? So every year, he buys a pair of 360s, and every other year he gets a black and white pair, and then the next year he gets a blue and white pair, and then he replaces the black and white pair, and then he replaces the blue and white pair, and he's been doing that for almost 8 years now. So at some point, give us a shoe that you will not mess. Jordan Rodgers has talked about this. There's pressure at Nike. You can't repeat the same shoe, and what sucks about that is sometimes you make a great shoe, and then Tour premiere. Why are we still waiting 6 years later for a tour premiere? Everybody loved that shoe.
Well, and now the only thing with the tour premiere is now that bottom of the tour premiere is the bottom for the Scottie One, which we're just.
That's true. That is true.
But that is the bottom. And that obviously that fraction pad and that sole has.
But you'd have to be a weirdo like us to know that.
I know. That's why you listen to the Swoosh Life Podcast.
That's why you listen to
from us.
So again, there's something to be said about having something that carries over. Tiger Swoosh. I loved every year that I knew that Tiger was going to have a nice, kind of well-made $100 sweater. I like that consistency. Would the cut change a little bit? Yes, but the materials would stay. There's something to be said for consistency. So, I don't know. That's how I feel. I get it.
Yeah.
From the other side, it's the same old shoe. Why are you hyping it up? That I understand.
Whew, what an episode.
I finally woke up here at the end.
An episode. I think, I think we hit everything we want to talk about today. Great episode. It's going to be an awesome Players Championship. I might watch a little bit. There's some good featured groups. I'm starting to get into watching Scottie. I mean, that's like it's fun to watch because he doesn't he hits the ball.
He's not missing things.
So I think that's really awesome, and I think it'll be a good time. So you guys have any wrap up things for the end of this podcast? Episode 64. We've done 64 of these mothers. It's crazy. And I think not everything changes, but stuff changes from here on out for us. And I'm looking forward to that with you guys. And I think it's going to be a roller coaster, but it's going to be fun. And we hope that you guys, you listeners out there, jump on board, tell your friends, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your brother-in-law, sister-in-law, just get people to listen to the podcast because you aren't going to want to miss some of the stuff that we're going to do later. So,
yep.
And that's not even like I'm saying it like Monopoly. We've joked about Monopoly for a year and a half. I'm saying it and like, this is actually going to happen. Like, something is actually happening. So, final words before I like sign off here.
Just excited for the next couple weeks leading up to the Holy Grail. That's all. Kicking off major season soon. Can't wait. So that's all. In the warmer weather, I can't after today, and I just swing and hit the ball around. Just can't wait. Matt.
See you in Augusta.
Remember, get your gloves. Pick Sporting Goods. Get your protection plan. That's all. I don't know why I'm piping it up so much. You guys are going to make me stop buying $4 gloves. And lastly, remember to become a supporter of the podcast by going to patreon.com/Swoosh Life Podcast. Oh, my goodness. That is new this year. Please go subscribe. You can subscribe for $5. Help support our podcast. And then be first for new products and new things. We got something else coming out for you, too, that you can purchase. Some stickers and some other stuff. We're going to make shirts. You guys can see behind me. Well, you can't because I'm small, but my wife has an industrial shirt press back there. We're going to be cranking some shirts out this year. And, become a Patreon to get those. And then lastly, remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at the Swoosh Life Podcast. Stay up to date on all things swoosh. That's it for Keith, Gumby, Matt. It's been it. See you in the next one. Bye. Make sure you follow us at the Swoosh Life Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And support us by going to patreon.com/Swoosh Life Podcast or at podcasters.spotify.com. And make sure you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Swoosh Life Podcast. And always listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Swoosh Life Podcast.
Checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, that's what we like.